Good.
Call the meeting to order on August 16th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. Roll call.
Leaders.
Here.
Rick Larson.
Here.
Brett Larson.
Here.
Weedy. Here. Look at, let the record show all members are present except Silkworth.
Okay. If you had a chance to read the minutes, is there a motion to approve the minutes or make it a correction?
I move.
Second?
I second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. So I'm going to read a statement. The public hearing will be conducted pursuant to the Commission Rules of Procedure. We will first hear the report of the Planning Director on the detailed information and the observations regarding the request before the Commission, if not done so in written prior form to the hearing. Next, we'll take testimony of the applicant and his or her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, I will call upon members of the audience wishing to be heard concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those opposed to it. At any time during the presentation of the testimony, the members of the commission may interrupt to ask questions or to make comments about what's been said. Upon completion of the testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make closing statements to the commission. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, I will entertain a motion from the commission to close the public hearing on the request. The commission reserves the right to ask questions of any member of the audience. However, we will not hear any unsolicited statement unless the public hearing is first reopened. Each speaker addressing the commission shall step forward to the podium and state their name and address before proceeding with their testimony or evidence. The commission shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but does reserve the right to exclude evidence or testimony that may deem to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rule on all questions relating to the admissibility of the evidence, which may be overruled by the majority of the commission. Continuance may be granted by the commission in the case of good cause shown to any interested party who has entered their appearance. The commission may request a continuance of the hearing for the purpose of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for such other reasons as the commission may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state the specific reason for the continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official actions of the commission will be made at a public meeting by motion made, seconded, and polling of the membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion or omitted thereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of the commission. Okay, so do we have a motion to open public hearing?
I move we open case number SUB 2021-02.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's been approved. Okay, we would like to have the applicant come forward and state their name and address and make your case.
My name is Nick Hansen, 1440 Rolling Hills Loop, Council Bluffs, Iowa. I would like to do a minor subdivision for the parcel just south of 230th Street at the intersection of Chestnut Road and 230th. The basis of this is just to split the existing 13-acre parcel by the boundary created by Chestnut Road. Pretty straightforward split, just one property split by a road. I'd like to make it two. And that's about it, really. No developments as of right now, just simple split.
Okay. Any questions? Comments? Discussion?
You just looking at putting up a house on
Yeah.
property?
The intent is I'm actually going to buy the lot 2 or the south half or the south triangle wedge and build a house. And the existing owner will retain the north lot. So it's
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's pretty simple. Yeah. I don't have more questions. No, no more questions
Okay.
here.
Feel free to sit down.
I move to close the public hearing.
Okay, do we have a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries.
Any discussion?
Discussion? What's the recommendation?
Approved.
Okay.
I move to approve.
I move, second it.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
I move to adjourn.
No, we got
No,
one more thing.
I know.
And this is a long one, man.
No, it's not. It can go quickly.
You're good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Are you?
Thank you.
I'll let you know
Board-
when the next one is, okay?
All right.
Thanks.
God, I was hoping we didn't read that.
Okay, so what's the next one here?
It is in your
Find a little
packet, you
piece of
have
paper
the
here.
urban renewal plan for the Heartland Ridge
Renewal.
Okay. So this is.
subdivision.
We're discussing it, right? It's not really, is it a public hearing on that one?
No, it's not a public hearing.
So we don't need to open it up.
You just have to let the board of, it's just part of the proceedings.
So tell us about it.
About the subdivision?
Or, I mean, what are they trying to do? Meaning, what we're here today to discuss.
See if the urban renewal plan that the
Sure.
attorneys drafted
Uh-huh.
is in conformity with our comprehensive plan.
So what did they change from the prior one?
The urban renewal plan?
Yeah,
Nothing.
they didn't change anything.
Mm-mm.
Stays the same, it's all within.
We've
conformity
just
within
never
the county
had you
codes?
guys review it yet. We're getting ready to move forward with adopting it
Okay,
and adopting the development agreement with them.
so this is basically what they have taken from the plan, what they see is.
Yeah, and then eventually we'll have to do the TIF ordinance and it's just all part of the process.
So
We also had to get this, the city,
Had to check. on it.
county city agreement.
So there's this tip, so is this what they're building by Google or not? Or,
This is Pioneer Trail.
so two different, it's the existing Portland properties. Oh,
It's not a subdivision. It's bare ground that
Right.
Brant's used to own. The Wabash Trail goes behind
so
it.
this is what they've been
It's
talking about for
Aspen,
the last 2
Dumfries.
years, right?
Yes, exactly.
So what's this thing about payment at TIF? So not to exceed $4 million will be funded by property tax revenues to be deprived from the property.
That's the
TIF is
tax
tax
increment
increment financing.
financing.
That's
For the
how-
development of the property, right?
Yes,
I'm trying to understand this.
yes.
So when they get the houses, that,
Curb gutter utility, right?
Yeah,
I don't think they have to do curb and gutter
They don't
anymore.
have to?
Mm-mm. John, the engineer, said,
They said no on that?
yeah, don't
Okay,
have
so
to do
it's
those anymore.
utilities,
so we're gonna, so that, what they're asking for,
roads,
the TIF is not to
Roads.
exceed $4 million to put it in for the developer to bring the infrastructure to that
Mhm.
bare land, right?
With the exception of water.
With
The city would not sign off on the joint agreement for the water, so their rural water, the county gave rural water 300,000 to help finance it.
So does anybody know what the cost of that development's gonna cost to bring that infrastructure in?
Well, I think it's that 4
yeah,
million,
they're saying not more than 4 million.
So basically, it's covering the entire cost, most likely.
other than the water.
And then that's tax revenues from the properties that are within that development over a
Right.
period of time?
Once houses start being constructed
Uh-huh.
and they get on the tax roll, those taxes will go to fund
To pay for
the infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
But also 45% of that has to go to LMI, low to moderate income. So more than likely, it's going to go to Pot County Housing
but if you read through this,
Foundation.
the TIF doesn't pay all of it,
No,
he has to pay for the rest on his own, right?
and there's only a certain time, 10 years is the maximum.
So is
That's
this like a
when it's-
REIT similar to that or?
That's when it sunsets.
So they charge back, so the homeowner that buys that property,
No.
pays it, okay,
No,
nothing like that.
no, not at all.
So they're getting that tax, basically they're getting,
The tax base that is going to be created by
For 10
these new
years.
homes
okay,
will go to pay
goes to pay back
the infrastructure, well, not
the
just
developer
infrastructure.
for the infrastructure.
Yes.
okay, I get you.
And then, like I said, 45% by law has to go into
Low to moderate.
low to moderate income.
So within that development, that low to moderate income,
The development does not have
He
to
has
be
to
low
put
to
his money
moderate income.
into low to moderate somewhere else.
Oh,
It's
somewhere
called-
else in the county?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's called a set
Okay, I'm
aside.
just,
No,
trying to
I got
understand
it,
this.
set aside amount is what it is called.
Okay.
Yep,
This is-
that's
I mean,
just part of the state law also.
This is pretty much standard,
So
and there's
he-
a percentage of it, cause it's 5.8 actually to put him in according to.
So,
it is.
okay. So the more the specifics like utilities and stuff besides the water, do they have to tell us up front, like now, what they're bringing in? Because as an example, up at north, near Missouri, Logan,
Mhm.
they developed a property without paying for telecommunications infrastructure, and they still haven't done it.
Mhm.
There's groundwater contamination, and it's gonna cost them 200 and some thousand, and they said, screw you, Mr. Customer, you're gonna have to pay for it yourself. If you want lines.
It's on their proposed, the preliminary costs that they presented. I don't know
Is that
if
within the
that's
document?
part of this urban renewal plan.
Okay,
This is just the
so as long as
urban
it
renewal plan.
specifies, yeah, cause that's, you know,
Yeah,
the other county didn't have that.
there is, I'm sure there's Cox out there
Nope,
on Pioneer Trail.
not that way, no.
And so they're bringing the water line in, they'll have
just local phone
septic systems, which will
Unless
be.
Google puts some infrastructure in place.
So septic systems will be more than likely, property owner's responsibility.
Yeah, this is.
I think the majority of it is going towards the roads,
Yeah.
Yeah.
grading,
It's all grading road.
What type of road,
Grading.
is it cement road?
it has
Has
to
to
be,
be.
Okay,
to do a major subdivision, yeah.
okay.
And then,
Blacktop to it?
Used to have to be curb and gutter, but apparently they.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
they must
don't
have-
have to anymore.
Yeah, the gutter must have went away, I think.
Well, I think Sherwood Country Estates, everybody was cutting into the curbs anyway for their outbuildings and such. And, I mean, there was no
Decided not to.
regulating it.
So
you know.
here's the other thing too, those curb and gutters, you know, like for instance, Bentley, all that water runoff goes through some of those properties and just washes it out, and it's the homeowner that's responsible for that because my neighbor down the street has that issue.
Hmm.
Cause they took it before the county and took it before the HOA, you're out of luck.
Hmm.
Do you know that? So that's my problem, or my question is, you got this runoff, goes through the property, well, it's on the development, but once that property's sold, then that owner of that property, that's his responsibility. But he has no say because all that runoff goes through that storm sewer and down through a pipe that washes out that whole, that happens in Bentry right now.
I don't know.
I know,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
either.
saying, these things, like, we need to be brought up before, to think about for long-term,
Yeah, but
because,
that's not our responsibility. I mean,
well, it
that's,
should be,
that's
because it's
the,
code.
that's the,
'Cause it-
design, engineer.
Right, but we
designer.
approve it though.
You approve the subdivision.
No, I mean, the county
yes.
does, your
Yeah.
department,
No,
the design.
you guys will.
Right.
Oh,
When
we
the
will.
subdivision comes to you, you make recommendation
Okay.
to the Board of Supervisors,
Okay,
and they approve it. So, yeah,
okay,
when that subdivision comes to you.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll have to
long-term,
review
yeah,
all of that.
'cause this thing washes out all the time. The inventory.
But from what I understand is we're approving this to get approved, but then the actual subdivision has to come back around, correct?
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is the preliminary stages of this whole subdivision.
So how long is this before the ground breaks? Before
Oh,
the,
they have to get the water lines run.
Could be 2
And that
years.
won't be till next year, 2022, I think.
and that's,
September of
So what
2022.
this basically does, Brett, is this gives them, if it goes through us and then goes to the supervisors, it gives them the reason to have it platted,
right,
have it
continuance,
engineered. Yeah,
go on, cause we're in favor of it.
Yeah.
We approve it.
yeah. That's when you bring that up is, well, what are we doing with the runoff on each one of these yards?
Right.
Who's responsible?
The only reason they have to do is the urban renewal plan is because they want to tip it.
Yeah.
Okay,
If they were paying for everything,
see,
this
if-
wouldn't even be
If we
before
approve
you.
this, 100%, if we approve this, then it gets approved, then they can file for the TIF.
Mhm.
And if they get the TIF, then they will come back
who
to us.
approves the TIF? The county
It's
supervisors?
an ordinance that the Board of Supervisors approves.
And they've
yes.
been talking to them, so I don't see any issue with that.
Yeah.
It's just a process. But that's something that you need to remember, we all need to remember, is the drainage issue.
Yeah.
Is because I can remember back in the Mocha years, that we had that issue where they were building 1 or 2 lot deals, and there was nobody worrying about the runoff, and there was some complaints. Well, then I think we went back in and we made it so that they had to have, just on the small things, they had to have the NRCS go out and approve the runoff,
Mm-hmm.
and then it had to be followed, or they wouldn't approve it.
So next time we have this discussion, make sure you're here, because you got
Once
that.
I've been in on it, so.
There you go.
And if they disturb more than an acre,
That's
which
correct.
obviously they
Right.
will, then they have to get a special
And then we had the
permit with
issue is
the-
who's policing it.
Yeah.
I think we went through that whole thing, and I think it's the
Yep.
cities. Inside the city limits, it was the city, outside it was the, NSR, or
NRCS, or the
NRCS,
DNR.
or the DNR.
I mean,
So if it does-
one subdivision that comes to mind is, Mike Collins.
Yes, that was that was where this started, was
Uh,
prior to
I
that.
can't think of the name of that subdivision.
Tracy.
Traceview, thank
Tracy.
you.
So what happened there? Just-
Oh, horrible, because all the lots weren't getting built out at once.
So
And
just washing downstream and.
DNR came, I mean, he got some hefty fines too,
Yeah.
the developer did.
Yeah.
I built a new house in Colorado. I had the whole damn development coming around my house. I had it like a moat. So all that rock skate, it just washed out in the front street. And I said, hey, you're an engineer. You can redesign it or tweak it. So they had 12 engineers out the next day and came up with a solution, fixed the problem.
Yeah, so we actually, I think we have that in place, that it has to have, they have to have a runoff plan.
That's part of the subdivision ordinance.
Didn't used to
That
have to be that way, but I think in the last 10 years.
It's
we've
been
made
that
it-
way for a while.
Yeah,
now.
last 10 years, I think it's been that way.
That's part of the preliminary
Because
plat
there for a while,
process.
we had meeting after meeting after meeting
Yeah,
where somebody was in here complaining about runoff on their property.
Yep.
And I was like, ooh, I'm tired of this.
Okay. So 4 million over 10 years, that's what they're trying to get from that tax. And that tax is only what goes to the county, not the school district piece, right?
right, and then that's another piece of it. Next Monday, Matt and I are we have to have what we call a consultation meeting with the taxing entity, which will be Lewis Central
So
School
is it just
District.
two taxing entities within that?
Just Lewis
Just Lewis,
Central.
Lewis
Right.
Township.
Mhm.
What,
And most times they
not
don't
that it
even
makes
show
any
up.
difference, but who's the actual owner of the project? Who's trying to do it?
Sean Jerkovich, Mark Hanwright, Jason James.
Mark Hanwright's father-in-law's property. That's what I heard.
Oh, Brant's.
I don't know,
Maybe.
That's what somebody said. I
I
don't know.
don't
Is that true? You know more about it, don't you?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
mean,
know.
It's something like that.
I
don't
just know it was Brant's property.
It doesn't make any difference. I'm just curious, but
Yeah.
so,
500,000.
do we have to, what do we have to do with this?
Then on the other side of the road of Aspen, Jim Hughes bought that and
They're doing
they'll
a
probably
huge
do a
one, too.
tip too, so you'll be going through this again.
So we just need to approve this for,
You don't need to
We don't
approve it,
even
you
need to
just
approve it.
need
Have a
to,
discussion.
you just need to have a discussion and decide if it conforms to and is consistent with the county's general development plan.
Yeah, and it is.
Yeah, I think it is, I mean, if you read the,
So we'll just
Yeah,
take
go
a
I
through the
helped
concrete.
write that, I don't need to read it.
I know, comprehensive plan, yeah, your name's on here, I think.
Times.
We worked on that for a lot of years.
Rick Larson, yep, you're on here.
I think it falls, two things, that even adds to it is we're short places to build houses.
And roads.
And, it fits in the county where we want it.
The right locations.
Yeah, it's good.
So we're all in favor, say aye.
No, we're not even.
We don't even have to
do
do
that.
We're not doing that.
We had a discussion.
We had a
Discussion.
discussion.
She's gonna
We're
pass
good.
it on that we thought it's a great idea.
I'll second Rick's motion to adjourn.
So that's about $5,700 per property that they're gonna give,